I'm Hannah Wallace and welcome to Finextra. Today I'm joined by Stacey English, Head of Regulatory Intelligence for Thomson Reuters, and we're going to be talking about how RegTech is changing compliance. Hi Stacey, it's good to see you again. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks Hannah, good to see you.
Now, I understand Thomson Reuters has recently published a report on the impact of FinTech and RegTech on compliance. So to set the scene then, can you tell me what was the aim of the report and what were the key findings?
Certainly, and this is the third year that we've actually undertaken this particular research, and the purpose really is to understand the impact of RegTech and FinTech and other sort of innovation on the compliance function itself. This year 400 practitioners from firms right around the world took part, and the findings are intended to help other firms in the industry benchmark their own expectations and plans and experiences against the wider industry. And what we're seeing really is a lot of excitement and a lot of buy-in to the fact that this new technology will bring benefits, but that's on the other hand an understanding and realisation that actually the implementation challenges are quite high, and the practical reality of achieving the benefits is not always straightforward. So this emerging pragmatism, that's really having an effect on adoption, and we've seen a slowdown of implementation of RegTech over the year.
All right, and following on from the slowing down of implementation then, what are the challenges firms need to overcome so they're able to implement new technology like RegTech?
Well, certainly there's a lack of confidence in a lot of the underlying IT infrastructure to really be able to support this new technology. So firstly, firms need to make quite a substantial investment really in bringing existing infrastructure, which is working with fixes and workarounds to be able to support it. So these legacy systems need to be updated to be able to actually realise the benefits of this new technology. The other thing we're hearing is that there's a real proliferation of immature technologies out there and quite a high expectation about the benefits that they can actually deliver. So another sort of urgent thing that firms need to be thinking about is their own skills in-house and whether they have the actual skill to be able to assess and implement this new technology and also gain buy-in from their existing staff to get the best use out of it. So having said that, there are a lot of implementation challenges, but overall firms have a very positive view of the technology. They're looking at how it can help them, and they're also telling us that they have quite a lot of budget. A third of firms are expecting their budget to grow this year.
All right, that's really interesting then. So once firms have overcome the implementation challenges, what impact will RegTech have on compliance functions in practice?
I think it'll be a very positive impact. The overwhelming expectation is that it will achieve a lot of efficiency and effectiveness. Compliance officers, their role is consistently expanding and growing, and they are very much looking at solutions that are going to automate processes and bring in sort of increased accuracy and speed. In parallel with that, we're actually seeing quite an easing of fears around technology, and for the first time we're seeing the lowest levels of firms telling us actually that they're concerned about technology that's actually going to replace roles. And I think we're now seeing compliance officers understand that actually RegTech, FinTech is actually going to augment their role rather than replace it, and a realisation that actually it's going to start picking up some of the more routine compliance tasks, and then that frees up time for compliance officers to be doing much more of the higher skilled and value-added activities. And then in terms of areas where we're likely to see the most impact, this has really shifted over the last year, and this year I think we're going to be seeing a lot of demand and focus on solutions that will help with compliance monitoring, with onboarding and with tackling financial crime.
And finally then, how engaged are compliance and boards in the assessment and adoption of new technology?
Well, this is something we specifically ask, and the first major concern that we spotted really was the significant rise in firms telling us that actually their compliance function needed to be much more involved, and that creates a challenge for compliance because of course they've got to find the capacity and the skills to be able to be involved and assess these solutions, and they've also got to make sure that they are involved in the conversations around adoption and what technology should we use. And it's actually a very similar picture for boards, and over the year we've seen board engagement reduce, and boards are half as engaged as they were last year. And of course it's really, really important that boards are involved to understand the benefits and the risks, because technology risks, whether that's from cyber related issues, IT infrastructure failures or data security issues, they can have significant harm on customers, and it can bring enforcement action to the firm. And not only that, we're seeing individual accountability regimes rolled out around the world, so IT issues can actually be a source of personal liability for those senior managers. So on this point, I think in the year ahead and beyond, it's really, really important for compliance and boards that new technology, the adoption of it and taking into account those risks is really, really high on the agenda.
Some really interesting developments there. Stacey, this has been great. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thanks, Hannah.
And thank you for watching.